Hey guys, I'm sorry I got cut off on the last video. I had a phone call. Somebody was picking up my daughter and they needed directions to my house. So I'm just gonna try to pick up where I left off. So I said I was 15 at the time, and my mom had, she had brain surgery, and everything was, it kind of went back to normal after that. I did have a lot of anxiety still. I mean, anxiety's been constant in my life. I mean, that's no lie. She actually went and stayed with my grandma, which was her mom at the time after the brain surgery, because my dad was working. And me and my sister ended up going to stay out there as well because, we didn't want to be away from my mom. And, she needed help recovering. And so everything from that time that I can remember, from 15 to 18, I don't remember anything that was too horrible with my anxiety. So I'm going to get into when I was 18. Well, I had been dating this guy for about 4 years. It couldn't have been 4 years because, well, I was almost 19, I guess. But I had met someone after I had broke up with the guy I was talking about when I was 15. And he was a much older guy. I believe I had turned 16, and he was in his mid to late 20s. And we started dating, and at 18, I found out I was pregnant. And to be honest, it wasn't a real bad relationship, but it wasn't a good relationship because I was young and I was naive, and he did a lot of drugs behind my back. I never really did any drugs because I just didn't believe in it. And it also, once in my life, or a couple times in my life, I had, smoked some marijuana. I don't know too many people that haven't when they were teenagers. And it just wound the anxiety up, even more bad. So, anyway, I found out I was pregnant when I was 18. And I was just shocked because I never thought I was going to have kids, to be honest with you. I just never thought I was going to have kids because I knew the severity of my anxiety, and it just, hell, I wondered if I ever would drive a car, I was 18 and only had my learners, and I just didn't think so. But okay, so when I got pregnant, I was on Paxil. So Paxil has been my lifelong antidepressant drug, pretty much. Although throughout the mix, I've tried just about everything on the market. When I was, okay, so I'm just trying to remember, okay, because it's really hard. So please, just bear with me. Okay, so I got a doctor, and he took me straight off the Paxil. the worst idea this man could have, I mean, I just don't think this man, I forgot his name, I'd have to look up his name, he should not be practicing, gynecology, because he just told me to quit it cold turkey, and I did it because I thought, it was best for the health of my child. No, things took a worse. You cannot just quit any antidepressant, especially if you've been on it long term, cold turkey. It causes severe side effects. I mean, it sent me into a spin. My pregnancy was healthy as far as my daughter. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have those type of problems during pregnancy. But my pregnancy was a complete nightmare, because I ended up suffering with my nerves all the time. Like, I was constantly anxious. I was just constantly not getting any sleep. I had no cravings whatsoever that I can remember in my pregnancy, because I vomited literally half the pregnancy. And I got so depressed during pregnancy that it's hard to explain, because I don't want people to think that I didn't care about my pregnancy, but it's just, I had a hard time. If you look up, it's called agoraphobia, and it's a fear of leaving, your house. I started to get that, so, I had to literally be, pushed to go to my OBGYN appointments, because I knew it was best for my daughter, but then I was just so scared. I mean, it was my first pregnancy, and, I mean, who wouldn't be scared, on top of having anxiety running through your veins 24/7. Fortunately enough, I found the greatest OB doctor there is, and I still love him till this day. He helped me. He put me, this didn't get me completely normal, though, I have to be honest. I went through a couple antidepressants in pregnancy, which may seem harsh to some, but I mean, I had to be mentally there and be able to cope to make sure that, I just couldn't suffer like that for 9 months. So he worked it out. He put me on something, that they do it by classes of, if it's a class A, class B for pregnancy. And so he put me on something that was more safe for pregnancy. And to be honest, I did take, it was hard, okay? I did take, I couldn't take any benzos, which is like Klonopin, Xanax, or anything like that. They put me on Vistaril, which is like, a lot of people haven't heard of it. It's a antihistamine, but it's also used to treat anxiety. But nothing really seemed to help me. And this is probably why. The father of Mackenzie was not there for me. He was too busy doing crack and cocaine. He had gotten bad on it, and I just decided to drop him out my life. It was the hardest thing that I had to do, but with my mom's support, it was the best thing to do. I just had to get that out of my life. I mean, he was at an age where he was grown, and he was not stable. He was from hotel to hotel. I would call the hotel, and some random people that I've never met or didn't know would pick up the phone and say he was gone. I could never get in contact with him. He was just strung out. I mean, literally. So I dropped him from my life. And so I guess that put a very bad, hinder on the pregnancy. And that doesn't stop there. My mom's brain tumor came back again, but this time it came back 3 years later. They said it had spread more, kind of like peanut butter. And that they were going to go in and try to remove as much as they could. And then she would receive radiation, which they thought would take care of it for quite a few years after the brain surgery. And anyway, so I ended up going to stay with my Aunt Joyce because my dad was working and he had to be there with my mom. And I forgot about where my sister was. I have no idea. I think she was still at home, but I think I needed more guided support because I was halfway through my pregnancy. I was Mackenzie was born in March, and my mom had the surgery in February, or late January or February, so I went and stayed with my aunt. It was so hard. It was so hard. Not having my mom there with me, and I was having so much anxiety. I could not sleep at night. I'm pregnant, and I cannot sleep. My aunt was just pulling her hair out because I could just not get it together. All I could do was drown myself in thoughts of fear, and I barely even wanted to eat, but I had to make myself eat for the baby. And it's pretty sad living your life like that, and it's and I had been in therapy on and off throughout my anxiety years, but I'm just not sure if they understood anxiety and actually told me how to cope with it. And even doing so, it's still hard to cope with anxiety. It really is. It's hard. But I was under a psychiatrist still when I was pregnant, and we just tried to do as much as we could. The pregnancy was just so stressful on me, and not as much as on my body, but just mentally, I guess, with, the dad being, a loser, and my mom, having brain surgery. I was a mess. Literally. And so, after my mom got out of surgery this time, it was not good. They removed as much as they could, but my mom had a lot of weakness on the left side, which she had not had before in the previous 2 brain surgeries. And she was just kind of out of it, it may have shocked her or something. Well, of course, she had brain surgery, but anyway, she got to the point where she could, come home. And one night, my aunt was taking me, we went down, to Walgreens, and I was missing home so bad. I had been away from home for quite a few weeks, and I didn't have any of my stuff, but I knew my mom was home, and I was just like, just take me home. So when she took me home, I seen my mom, and I was just so happy to see my mom. But it was hard seeing my mom like this because my mom didn't look right in the eyes. She had something that I had not seen before. She had a wild look in her eyes, like just kind of out there, you know. It was just, it's hard to describe what it looked like. But anyway, I managed to cope. I felt better when I had got home. I felt more at ease, you know, just knowing my mom was there. She needed a lot of help. She had to go through rehab where a therapist had to come in and, improve her strength on the left side. She never exactly fully recovered. I mean, she got where she would walk, and she got where she would do normal things, but my mom ended up having to be on a bipolar medication because the last surgery had really messed with her mentally. She would have really bad anger outbursts and stuff like that. And in the mix of this, by the time my baby shower came, she was able to, she was able to be there and be better. So that was good. And my family threw it for me. And let me tell y'all, I did not even want to go to my own baby shower. I was just feeling such in a despair. I mean, hopeless. I mean, I can't believe I felt that way. But I did not even want to go to my own baby shower. But I did. I'm glad I did. I mean, of course, it was my child, but just the way I'm saying, the way I was feeling, it just felt so overwhelming, like just out of my control. And I believe my cousin has pictures of my baby shower, and I've asked her for them before, but I don't know where they are. But I'm glad I went, I'm glad I was able to pull up the courage and beat the anxiety once again and get out there and go to my baby shower. And I did not even have one piece of my baby shower cake. I mean, I lost more weight when I was pregnant than before I was pregnant because I was just constantly sick. I mean, all the stuff that I had been through my pregnancy, with life situations did not help it whatsoever. I mean, it just made it twice as worse. So my doctor decided that he thought it would be best if I had a C-section because I had been I'm going to cut this off in 20 minutes because I'm almost at 20 minutes and then I'm going to refilm again. He thought it would be best if I had a C-section because of just how exhausted mentally I was, and he didn't think I could stand being in labor that long, so we decided to go ahead and do a C-section 4 days early. Yes, that was scary, but I needed more medication. Like, I needed to be on something stronger. I needed to hurry up, and give birth because mentally I was just all over the place and I couldn't function like a normal person. I didn't watch TV. I didn't do anything. I just laid in the bed. So, I mean, I had to do it. So now I'm going to cut this off and then I'm going to start filming again for, a third session.